Good morning. Oh, it feels so good to be back. I'm on a little bit late, a few minutes, 4 minutes. Thank you, Joyce, for your great reminder that it was time. I was playing around on the computer getting ready and see if anybody's going to join us this morning. You might not be getting notifications. That might be the problem too. Good morning, Celia. Good morning. Good morning. We are here. We are live. If you're watching this, whether live or not, and it's going to sound really salesy, but make sure that you hit the like button or write a comment on here, because otherwise you'll miss the notifications. It'll hide everything from you. So if you like what you're seeing, if you like this face in the morning, then hit the subscribe or like or something. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Vanessa. Good morning. Well, without any other wait, because I have a baby that might need to be fed soon, we're going to jump on this. Let me pull up my notes. I'm so excited for this. Good morning, Selena. I have had this word on my heart for quite a minute and feel like I am not the only person that needs to hear this. So I'm going to be sharing with you. The plan right now is good morning, Chrissy. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I just chopped it all off a couple days ago. The plan right now is to jump on full for our next series in January. But right now I wanted to kind of test the waters, get myself together, if I'm really being honest. So I'm going to be posting Wednesdays this month. So Wednesdays in December, 6:30. I'm sure I'll pop on more. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Joyce. Thanks for the reminder. I didn't forget, but I did get busy. If you haven't done so already, then find me on Instagram. If I'm being very transparent with you, trying to figure out if this is the platform, Facebook is the place to post these, or if Instagram, if more people are on Instagram, if that's a better way to go. So maybe you guys can comment on here and tell me, yes, I'm on Facebook, that's better, or I think Instagram might work better. Facebook, Instagram, give me your feedback. That's what's important to me. And of course, I'm on YouTube because it captures everything. You can follow it and find it a lot easier. So I'm on YouTube as well. That makes it a little bit easier. Okay, without further ado, here's the word that I have this morning. It is about seasons. Seasons. And I'm calling this Wednesday thing seasoned, like you're seasoning something, seasoned for life. And you'll realize why I chose that word here in a little bit. I feel like, I just think seasons are changing in my life, and I realize I'm not the only one. Seasons are always changing in our lives. Just like the seasons of the year, we have spring, summer, fall, winter, and all of those seasons are necessary to be able to identify where we're at in the year. They're all markers for the year, right? Based on the weather, based on the sun, based on all that. Good morning, Jennifer. Good morning, Naomi. I'm so glad you found me. So we all go through seasons of life. Some of us have more physical seasons. Like I'm in a be a mom season, right? Stay home with your babies and your kids. Some of us are growing our education, and it's a hustle, busy season. Some of us are single, and you're working that season. Some of us are learning to be relational with people. That's a season too. Sometimes there's seasons of silence, right? Maybe I'm just speaking for myself here, but sometimes there's seasons where I need to be silent. Sometimes there are seasons where God's a little silent, right? There's seasons of life. There's separation, there's life, there's death, there's joy, there's seasons of peace. Did you know this? And think about this. I heard this the other day and I was like, that makes so much sense, right? Women go through more changes and more seasons than men. Women go through more changes and more seasons. We have changes in our life physically. If you're like me and you just had a child and nothing is going back to normal because it's your third, right? We put on weight. For babies, we lose it. We stay at home with kids. We return to work. We have all these seasons that we tend to change over more than men. On average, a woman's season changes, and this is more physical, but it's a good number to see. On average, a woman's season changes about every 3 years. Every 3 years, we go through some dramatic change in our life. Again, maybe it's school and education. Maybe it's we're planning a wedding and then we're prepping for our job, and then we're going to stop and we're going to have kids, and then we're going to have another kid and another, we go through changes, or we're going to retire and we're going to stay at home. We're going to find a new hobby. We have all these changes that go on in our life. And I don't know about you, I hate change. If things could just stay the same and be on routine. I know that that's part of my personality, so I know everybody will not identify with that, but if we could just have some stability and schedule, that's what I crave. I would just be so happy. But that's not what God has planned for us. In fact, and I know that this is a very popular verse, but in Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8, it talks about the seasons of life for us. And I'm going to read just a little bit for us. So Ecclesiastes 3, verse 1, there's a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. Every season has a purpose. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace. There's a lot of seasons, right? That's what we're getting at. There's a lot of seasons in life. And I don't know about you, but it's so comforting to read this because, like I said, I don't like change. I don't deal with change very well. I don't deal with change very well. I don't handle it well. I don't handle new seasons very well because it's change and it's not comfortable. But I find comfort in knowing that everything has a purpose. Every season has a purpose. What is that purpose? I think, sadly, most of us probably know this verse. We're probably like, yes, I know that there's a reason. There's a lot of people in this world that don't know that there's hope in their season. They feel like everything is against them and it's never going to get better. And that's why our depression rates are up. That's why suicide rates are up. That's why people have anxiety, because they don't realize that it's just a season. It's just a season. And I think we need to remember that more. I know for me in my life, and maybe I'm just speaking to myself this morning, I have to remember that this is just a season. There are things that I want to do. I have dreams and aspirations and goals and maybe mom body goals right now, but I have to realize that this is just a season. My babies are only little for just a season. This is a season in my life. It's not permanent. I'm not going to be at home forever with little kids. I'm not going to, and I know that because I have an 11-year-old who tests my patience. I'm just kidding. He's a great kid. But it's just a season. It's not going to last forever. It's not going to last forever. I think too many people, listen to this. I think too many people build a permanent place in their season. They hate their season, but they build this permanent house to just live there, and they waller and they are full of sorrow in this permanent place that they've built. And I'm telling you this morning, and I feel very preachy even when I was writing these notes, I'm telling you this morning, it was not meant for you to stay there permanently. It was just a season. So tear down your houses, get out of that. I'm going to be single forever. I don't like this life. I'm going to be here forever. I'm miserable. I hate my job. I hate this stuff. Get out of that and figure out, what is this season for? This is a season. This is what we're going to talk about the next couple of weeks. We're going to unpack this slowly because this is a mind change. We need to change our mind and change our thoughts. This is just a season. I will get out of this season. I will grow through this season. I will get through this season. But I have to turn those thoughts, which we talk about a lot in here. Our thoughts are going to what we think is what we say. What we say is what's going to happen. It's being planted in our hearts. So change our mind. Man, this is just a season. And please don't feel alone. I go through, even in the last couple of weeks, this change of being home and having to slow down is so hard for me. And I have to tell myself, this is just a season. This is not a permanent place. God does not have me here permanently. So tear down those lives. It was only meant to be temporary. And so that you can prepare and you can move into your next season. See, what if our story has a purpose? Maybe this season has a purpose. What if what you were going through was just a season, or better yet, listen to this. This is our title right here. Listen. What if this season was meant to season you? You see, season in the dictionary has two definitions. The first definition is that separation, markers in the year to be able to tell by the weather what season you're in. But there's a second definition in here. The second definition is a verb. It's an action word. It is an action word. And it means to make something suitable for use. Season also means to make something suitable for use. Now, here, a little educational lesson here. And yes, I Googled all of this, so I'm not that smart. But this seasoned phrase is really meant for wood. It's talking about seasoning the wood. Okay, if you're a carpenter, you'll understand this. Wood has to be seasoned for use. Otherwise, it will swell or it will break. You want to find good pieces and adapt it to the weather and the environment that it's going to be used. So they take the timber and they adjust the moisture for that environment of use. And how do they do that? They lay out the wood, and you have to lay it in one line. You lay it out flat where it can get the sun, the heat, the blazing sun, and the wind can blow through it. I know that this is just so much. I want to keep slowing down, but I don't have the time. So to season the wood, you have to be laid out in the hot, blistering heat, and you have to let the wind blow through you. I don't know about you, but I've had seasons of my life where I have felt the heat. I have felt that ugly desert wind that just cuts right through you. I thought I was left to die. I thought I was abandoned. I thought I needed to give up. I was so overwhelmed. Can I get an amen? Can I get some hearts? Can I get some likes? Do we even have those on here? If that's you and that's your season, consider this, my friend. Maybe you're not going through just a season that doesn't have a purpose. It's just so hard for no reason and nobody likes me and God is just punishing me. He is not punishing you, my friend. He is seasoning you. He is seasoning you for the environment that you are going to be used. Maybe you're going to be used for your family. Maybe you're going to be used for your friends. Maybe you're going to be used in your work environment. Maybe you're going to be used with your kids or their teachers, but you are being seasoned for what you are going to be used. Wow. Can I get an amen? That's how I felt. Well, as I've been studying for this and holding on to this moment, I can look back at seasons in my life where I thought, man, God, you are never going to use this. I can sit back and remember, man, I had a baby with this guy who's an addict. What am I going to do? I made a terrible decision. My son's going to be affected by this. My life is going to be affected by this. Why did I do this? Why have you abandoned me? Why are you not? Can I tell you that in hindsight is 2020, that situation has been one of the best situations that's ever happened in my life. It's opened up my heart and given me compassion for people that I never would have understood. It's given me a purpose to live. That's why I go back to the lighthouse and I teach in the women's recovery homes, and I talk to them about their kids and what their kids are going through. But you see, I was being seasoned for this environment that now I can be used because of that season. And you, my friend, can do the same. I promise. I'm wrapping up. I am wrapping up. I want to share with you on Wednesdays all about being seasoned for life. How are we going to get through these seasons? I want to give you some tips and some tricks and some things that I've picked up on and learned over the last few years of how we can get through these seasons. Let me share the end of Ecclesiastes 3. Ecclesiastes 3, after it says a time to be born, a time to die, all the times and seasons, it says this in verse 9. What do people really get for all their work? I have seen the burden that God has placed on us, yet God made everything beautiful for its own time. He has planted eternity in human hearts, but even so, people cannot see the whole scope of God's work from beginning to end. Friend, you are in a season and you're being seasoned. It may seem so overwhelming and you may not be able to see the end from the beginning. That's part of this whole orchestration of learning how to trust God, learning to trust Him with our life. But I will tell you this, it is just a season. You are being seasoned. You are going to get through this and you are going to be used. We can't see the whole story, but God can. And it's not going to last forever. He will make everything beautiful in its time. Remember this, God will change the season of life I'm in when He's ready to change something about me. And we're going to talk about that. I'm leaving you on a little bit of a cliffhanger. We're going to talk about that next Wednesday when we get together. But man, please understand, this season is not forever. No matter what you're going through, if it's a sickness, it's not forever. It's a season. Maybe it's even a terminal one. Get yourself out and that's your season. Figure out your purpose. We're going to talk about that, how to find your purpose, how to keep focused in this season so that we can get through it. We can be used and we can use what God is seasoning in our life to help somebody else. Friends, I have missed you so much. I feel so good to be back and communicating with you. Please reach out to me. I asked a question earlier. Maybe you guys can comment here below. I'm really contemplating whether Facebook is the right place to do this, these live videos and interaction, or if Instagram is. If you guys could just write in the message box right now, Facebook is better, I like Instagram, maybe you should do that. That would really help me to make some of these decisions as I continue to try to grow what I feel like God has gifted me and called me to do, which is right here online, which is so weird. But I thank you for waking up with me and doing this with me. If you haven't done so already, you can subscribe to YouTube as well, and you will not miss the notifications. I go live on there as well. And you can find all of that really easily at pushwomen.com. I will talk to you soon. I'm sure I'll pop on in the next few days.